Okay, so my name is Nsimbi Shahiidu. I'm a tennis coach from Uganda. So I started playing tennis when I was 5, and I played tennis throughout my high school. So after that, I got a scholarship at university. So I played tennis in university as well. So after that, I started coaching. I had interest in coaching young kids.
Right.
So that's how I started working with the academy in my country. Then I decided to move to Qatar in 2017. Until now, I'm still in Qatar as a tennis coach.
Okay, so what got you to go
Yeah.
from Uganda to Qatar?
Sorry?
I said, what prompted that move?
So tennis in my country is it's not like a big sport. You understand what I mean? It's like it's more people perceive tennis in my country like it's for the rich. You understand
Right.
what I mean?
Right.
So a few people play the game. So it kind of limits you on getting the knowledge and trying to improve as in your career as a coach. So I wanted something that would challenge me, and hopefully after a few years, I think I have to go back to my country to have to mentor some champions back in Uganda.
And take them back. Yeah, perfect. Okay. So
Yeah,
now that you've moved there, what kind of
yeah.
things have you learned?
It's tennis is wide. You understand what I mean? You learn a lot of I came like I wanted to be to learn more in a tennis stand. It's like working with more players from the age of 5 to 10. You understand what I mean? But as I worked with them more, I fall in love with coaching 14 years old, players from 14 to 16. You understand what I mean? So I've learned to work with junior players. I've learned a lot of sports management. I've been doing some courses online. So I've been doing sports sponsorship. I did some sports sponsorship courses on Udemy and Coursera. So it has helped me a lot, you understand, since I came here in Qatar. You understand what I mean?
And working with the young kids, I've done that. Is that, once you see in their eyes, they've learned something and they get that big smile on their face. They're like, I never did that before. That's always pretty cool,
Yeah. For teaching young players like a tennis stand, it's something complicated because you have to, it's more emotional than teaching big players. You understand what I mean?
Right.
So if you're not happy, if you're not live with them, for sure they are going to be off.
Right.
So you have to be creative every day. Every day you have to be creative. So you just have to make them love the game. So once you make them love the game, then everything is easy. It's not like a 14-year-old or an 18-year-old. So he knows today I'm going to come on the tennis court and I have to work on my serve. That's it. Even though you don't crack a joke, even though you don't say anything, he's there to do that. But for like a 5-year-old or a 7-year-old kid, it's not that. You tell him you're going to play the ball this way, he throws the racket away. So you just have to be patient. You just have to keep smiling. You just have to be creative to get them into the zone. You understand what I mean? So it challenges your mind, but in the end, it builds you up to be a better coach.
And some of the things that I've run across is that you can have a standard drill, but then you look at the kid that you're with and you go, like you said, I have to make up something for this kid. Or I have to make up something for this. Yeah, so being creative.
Yeah, for that, for sure, because, you can find a 7-year-old who is, there are type of players who learn fast and some players who learn at a very slow pace.
Right.
So you have to be creative, because we don't learn at the same pace. You understand what I mean? So basically in the tennis stand, you just have to be more creative and patient because if you go too fast, you're going to leave some behind. And definitely when you leave them behind, they are going to be off. They
Right.
will hate the game
Right.
completely.
Right.
That's it. Yeah. That's
And
it for sure.
I think that's what some coaches forget is that
Yeah.
you can coach them for today,
Yeah.
but your goal is to coach them for life. For
Yeah.
them.
Your goal is to be the best coach ever for them. You just want to make them love the game and
Right.
love everything about you. You understand what I mean? So if you cannot do that for the tennis team, then it's something different.
So, what are your goals for where you're coaching at now?
Sorry?
So, what are your goals? What are you trying to achieve with where you're coaching now?
I want to, like, as a coach, or I don't really get what you want. What do you really mean?
Well, I mean, are you trying to expand the amount of players? Are you trying to get more players? Are you trying to get more younger people, older people? What are you trying to do?
Okay, basically,
It was frozen again.
I but yeah, but I want to develop more players from 8 to 16. That's my goal. That I want to concentrate with players from 5 to 16. I
Okay.
just want to mentor those kind of players right now.
Okay. And you said at one point you might want to go
Yeah,
back to
that's
Uganda
it.
and take your talents back to Uganda.
Yeah, because it's like I don't have to forget my roots. You understand? So when time comes, I just want to go back home and do something for my. There are many. There is a lot of talent in Africa,
Mm.
so that's my goal as well. So I hope if all goes on well, and I still take more courses as a tennis coach to improve on my knowledge, so that I can help them more. Usually I travel home in summer. Every summer I go home. So when I travel home, we do some tennis camps for the kids
Okay.
from 5 to 18 years old. So that's in August and September. So unfortunately, this time because of the COVID-19, we might not have the camps, but definitely every summer I've been going home and we have been doing some tennis camps for the kids, basically for those who cannot pay for the lessons.
Okay.
So they at least they have a chance of playing the game of tennis. So that's one way of involving them. So basically, when the time comes and I can settle home, then we can have more of them engaged in the game of tennis.
Okay.
Yeah,
Now,
and
well, let me ask you this: what
yeah,
is the biggest difference between being a player and being a coach in your mind?
what's the biggest difference? You know, as in, it's it's a complicated question, but to me, uh, being a player is like okay. Let me start with being a coach.
Okay.
Being a coach, you have to be a leader. You understand what I mean? So, as a coach, you have a lot of many roles than a player. A player has to just come. Okay, he is a leader as well in his own way. But as a coach, you have to be a leader from day one. So your role is to mentor. Your role is to look after the coach, and your role is to bring out the best out of the player. So I think that's the number one difference from a player and a coach, because as a player, you as in your main role is to compete. You understand what I mean?
Right.
But as a coach, your main role is to mentor. Your main role is to look after the coach. Your main role is to bring out the best of the player. You understand? Out of the player.
And like you said, bring that smile on their face, right?
Yeah, for
Yeah.
that's it. For that, yeah, that's it.
And I think sometimes as coaches, we forget that
Mm,
that our job is to make them enjoy the game.
yeah.
And as a player, our job is we're enjoy the game. Some days you do, some days you don't. But as a coach, you
Mm.
have to do that every day.
Yeah, as a coach, you have to do that every day because once you don't do that, they are going to get bored.
Right.
You understand? Yeah, so players are just complicated. You understand? So it's like it's like let me say uh, players are different machines. You understand? So it's difficult to program a human being than
Right.
programming a machine because a human is like if I'm telling you that you are going to play the serve like this, the player might tell me, no, I feel better playing a serve like this. So you have to find a way of revolving around that. So you have to be creative. So once you cannot give him an answer to what he's trying to say, definitely he's going to leave you for another coach
Right.
who can give him what or her what he or she's asking you. You understand what I mean?
And sometimes they don't want the right
Yeah,
answer. They want the answer that they
yeah,
want. And you have to figure out a way to make it
yeah,
work the right way. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So all of them are different. You just have to figure out how you are going to approach to what they ask you. You understand what I mean?
Now, if you obviously as a coach, you understand
Mm,
how to look at what the players do. Do you kind
mm.
of compare them or give them other players to look at? I mean, say this is kind of how Federer does this or something like that, or you just kind of make sure that you work with each individual player on their own game.
Like I don't usually do comparisons because okay, it's good to do some comparisons. Like you can tell a player that you can look at how these players handle themselves, how they play the game. That's good, but they many players have different players that they look up to. You understand what I mean? So
Mhm.
to me, my approach would be it's like telling them the right thing that you have to do this to be great. You understand what I mean? It's like it's not like giving a comparison that you have to be like this one. You understand what I mean? Because everyone is different. All the tour players have something different
Right.
into their game. They do something at one level where other players can't achieve it. You understand what I mean? So it's for me, I think it's better to tell the players what to do than making comparison that you can do
Good. Good.
like how this player is doing it. Like you cannot tell a player now who, let me say, who is 5'5" in height that you are going to play like John Insiman. You understand
Right.
what I mean? It's different. It's different
Right.
because he cannot develop a serve at that height to John Insiman. You
Exactly.
understand what I mean? So
Exactly.
you just have to teach them what they have to do than making a comparison. I think so.
And I think sometimes the trap we fall into, especially when we're giving
Yeah.
larger group lessons, is all right, everybody do this, then do that, then do
Mm.
this, and do
Yeah.
that. And everybody's
Yeah.
different. And like you said, creativity. You have to be creative to
Yeah.
teach people everybody's different. And
Yeah.
I think that's, yeah, I think that's what the problem that we have as coaches is that
Mm.
we think they're supposed to do things a certain way, but there's more than one
Mm.
way to do it.
Yeah, for sure. Everyone is different. Yeah. So in tennis, creativity is, and tennis is, I think tennis is more of a problem solving sport. You understand what I mean? So
Right,
a
right.
coach has to be, yeah, a coach has to be creative in every way because players play under different conditions. Like we start from surfaces, we start from balls, different kind of balls. Let me say weather. You
Mhm.
understand? You cannot in tennis. The ball cannot bounce the same way. So if you know that, that means you have to be creative because they are trying to adapt to every situation.
Right. Right.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And I've run across people say, well, you play one way on grass, you play one play on hard court.
Yeah.
You make an adjustment for how the ball bounces no matter what. So to me,
Yeah, no.
it doesn't matter what surface it is because each ball bounce is going to be different anyway.
Yeah, for sure. Because that's the nature of the game. If you cannot adapt to that, then you are going to be out. So tennis is like it's an all-round sport. You have to be highly skilled to be better at tennis. And to me, I think tennis is proactive. It's not
There.
like more of a reaction sport. The more you do it, the more you get better at it. If you don't practice, definitely you cannot get better. But if you keep on practicing, definitely you will get it. Like Roger Federer played many like 3, 4 finals in Roland Garros. He lost, but he kept on working for it until he got he got a win in when he played Robin Soderling in the finals of the Roland Garros. So that's it. The clay is not his favorite surface, but he kept on doing it. So I think that's what we have to teach players. Like you don't like this surface, but that's tennis. You have to play here. You don't like this, but that's how you are going to do it if you want to be great. Understand what I mean?
I think it's also when you're talking about it being proactive. You also have to be mentally ready to, like as you're saying, to make adjustments, to persevere, and to get better, or at least to
Yeah.
understand that it's not always going to be perfect, but it can still be fun.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree with you with that. Tennis is highly it's a mental game, and I think I'm not so sure if there are some programs from international bodies where they are teaching coaches mental toughness. I've not seen that. Maybe I don't know about the ATP or WTA. Maybe they do that, but in organizations like ITF, I'm not so sure like they are doing it. Do you have any idea about that?
No, no, I think it's more the thing that I hear is get them on the court, hit a lot of balls, and it's like, well, what are you hitting a lot of balls for?
Sorry?
So, you know, it's not
Mm,
necessarily about,
mm.
as much as understanding what you're doing, but just do that and eventually you figure out what you're doing. So, you
Yeah,
know,
because as a coach, you have to build your player because everyone is fit. You understand what I mean?
right,
Everyone can run. Everyone can hit a fast serve. Everyone can hit a very good. Everyone can volley. But what is here? That's the others from are good players from other players. You understand what I
right,
mean?
right.
So if you can teach me, you can be a coach for sure.
Okay, well, now what is the thing
Mm.
that when you first step out on the court, what's the first thing you do with a lesson?
Sorry, when with what kind of players?
Well, that depends. I mean, what's the first thing you look at when you're starting, like with a new kid, with a new player?
With the new player, I don't go on the tennis court without having a plan. So
Okay,
with the new player, you just have to have a plan. Like, how am I going to go? How am I going to teach? How am I going to make him love the game? Because it's the first time to a new player. The first time the player, first time we are meeting. You understand? So if I'm rude, he's going to be off. If I'm too tough, he's going to be off. So those are the things that I look at before. I have to be friendly. I have to create a good environment where the player can adapt and love the game. So once I have that, I'm 100% confident that I can deliver the best to the kid. I can
okay,
deliver the best to the player. Yeah.
good, good. Well, I appreciate you to being on. It's been a
Yeah.
fantastic experience.
Yeah.
Do me a favor, just tell people where they can find you, where you're at,
Yeah.
the club you're at, and all that good fun stuff.
Yeah. I'm in Qatar. I work with a Smash Tennis Academy in Qatar. Yeah, so I'm Ugandan, but I'm based in Qatar. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time, and we'll
Yeah.
check back, and we'll see how things progress after we're all able to go outside and play a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. Everyone is just waiting. I'm also waiting. I miss tennis. I miss teaching those kids out there.
It's been tough, I know.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. Nice
Well,
to connect with you, Frank.
thank
Yeah,
you, sir. Appreciate it.
you're welcome. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too.